Good morning friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Medical Classes by Dr. Srinidhi Kumar Acharya. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also please give your valuable comments. You can also visit the playlist. In the playlist I have provided almost all the topics in a very systematic order. I hope this will be very useful to you for the continuous study. My dear friends, we have been discussing about different newborn procedures or Navajata Shishu Paricharya as explained in Ayurveda. So today we will have another important, last class we have discussed about Garbhodaka Vamana, and today we will explain about another important procedure of the newborn Navajata Shishu Paricharya, that is Raksha Karma. Now if you look into the Raksha Karma, number of references are available starting from Charaka, Sushruta, Ashtanga, etc. So the references are given here. Now let us understand what is Raksha Karma. Raksha Karma refers to different procedures or methods which are used to stabilize the baby and to prevent it from the infection, for the prevention of the infection, and also different methods which will go into stabilize the baby as early as possible. So they are included under the heading of Raksha Karma. This protect the baby when it is kept in the ward with the mother during the early neonatal period, which is a high risk period for the different infections. Especially Raksha Karmas are indicated in the first 15 days, you can say first 2 weeks, or in that also the early neonatal period, where the baby has been kept along with the mother in the Sutikagara, which is also considered as a high risk period in the neonatal life. So to prevent from the different types of the infections, to stabilize the baby as early as possible as far as biochemical and hemodynamic changes are considered, because immediately after the birth baby has to face many challenges like the establishment of hemodynamic status. Baby has to shift from the fetal circulation to the adult type of circulation, pulmonary type of circulation. That's a big issue. This hemodynamic stabilization is very important. Then baby has to start the functions independently, starting from the production of the enzymes, hormones, etc. Maintenance of the electrolyte imbalance, that is also the big challenge. So these are all the big issues which need to be stabilized as early as possible to have a healthy independent life of a newborn. Now Raksha Karma is that set of procedures which enhances the early stabilization of the newborn baby and as well as prevention of different infections. Now different infections which occur during this early neonatal period will going to delay the stabilization. Okay, so the infection will take the baby 2 steps back. So therefore prevent, and in the meantime, as the immunological system of the baby is not well developed and all the other systems of the baby is also immature, a mild infection also prove severe or fatal at time. Okay, what we refer it as septicemia of the newborn. So septicemia is called as silent killer of the baby. Therefore, that is the main issue. And Raksha Karma is aimed to solve these 2 problems. Another one is baby should be ensured with the good feeding. In the Raksha Karma, one more important goal is ensuring the good feeding, ensuring the normal good pure ventilation and healthy environment, maternal touch and infection free environment, adequate temperature maintenance and caring family. Now see, when I say we need to establish the baby as early as possible, stabilize the baby as early as possible, what are the basic requirements? Basic requirement in number is 1, feeding. Initiate the feeding as early as possible. Okay, that is also the part of Raksha Karma. Provide pure ventilation, high oxygenated air, that is also very important. Provide a healthy environment, healthy soothing environment for the baby, that is also important. Maternal touch, keep the baby along with the mother so that temperature will be maintained, maternal bonding will going to develop, enhance the feeding, etc. Provide an infection free environment and provide adequate temperature, that is thermoneutral range of temperature, and have a caring family. So these are the basic issues which is mentioned in case of Raksha Karma. If you go through the different shlokas and references provided in Raksha Karma concept, so they are actually concentrating on these facts. Okay, preferably the baby and the mother should be considered as a single unit in an isolated form. Now, they should be isolated. Mother and see, there is a wrong thinking in the public that Ayurveda says that baby and mother should be separated after birth. No, it is not like that. Baby and mother as a unit should be separated from the others. Means other family members, other visitors, well-wishers, etc. Because these are the visitors who actually bring the infection. So therefore what Ayurveda says, baby and mother should be kept as a single unit and it should be isolated from the others. But some misconception is there. Ayurveda says that baby and mother should be isolated. It is not like that. Okay. So it should be separate, they should be separate from the others to prevent the cross infection and to provide the opportunity to develop a strong maternal bonding between the mother and the baby, and also enhancing the breastfeeding. This is the idea, very clear cut idea and a very unique idea. Okay, so that is mentioned in Raksha Karma. Okay, so this portion has been also given stress in Raksha Karma if you look into the references. Now these are the different references which is available collected from the Raksha Karma only, which highlights the point so far I have explained. Now Ayurveda has given a great importance to such protective methods and explains same in detail. Now if you look into that, we shall see some of the important things. Now for example, the wooden pieces of drugs like Adhini, Pilu, Khadira, then Karkandu, Parushaka, etc. should be hanged in all the four corners of Sutikagara where the baby and mother has been kept. And these drugs are having the strong aromatic smell which keeps away the infection and act as an air purifier and ensure the heat resistance. Now see, this is very thing. What they told is Adhini, Pilu, Khadira, Karkandu, Parushaka, etc. drugs are there. Its kanda should be taken, stem portion should be taken, and it should be hanged in all the four portions of the Sutikagara, and also it should be burnt. Also it should be burnt so that continuous fire will be there in a corner of the Sutikagara. The idea is very simple. These drugs are having strong aromatic smell, so they always exit or emit the strong aromatic smell. Strong aromatic smell not only purifies the air, also prevent from the infection. And continuously when you are burning this inside the Sutikagara, it is a natural method of maintenance of the heat inside the room. So baby will not have any temperature problems. Similarly, bija of the Sarshapa, Atasi, Tandula, Kanakilaka, etc. drugs are powdered and they are spreaded on the floor of the Sutikagara. These drugs are having Katu, Ushna and Tikshna Guna, and this also act as bactericidal or bacteriostatic drugs. Okay, where the Sutikagara, where the baby and mother has been kept, so we should also spread the powdered portion of these drugs. Again, the intention is to prevent the entry of the micro or macro organisms like house flies, mosquitoes, etc. So these are the strong aromatic drugs having a very strong smell. Okay, so naturally it is an unfavorable condition for the microorganisms and as well as macroorganisms. Even the macroorganisms also act as a vector. House flies may be there, mosquitoes may be there. So because of this strong smell, they will also not come inside the Sutikagara. Again, the aim is to prevent the infection or spreading of the infection. Similarly, Banabhatta, if you see Banabhatta's commentary, this portion, that means this is mentioned in respected C.H.S. Shastri sir's book. Okay, so where there is a reference that Banabhatta in his book Kadambari explains the sprinkling of the mustard seed over the room where the queen Leelavati is delivered. This is a reference from this Kadambari. Kadambari is written by Banabhatta, and that is actually a drama type book. Okay, where there is a role. Okay, there is a role called as Leelavati. So where the Leelavati is delivered, in that room, it is mentioned that it was sprinkled with the mustard seeds over the room. So this reference is also there where they are following this Raksha Karma previously also. Okay. And apart from that, both morning and evening hours you have to go for Homa and Havana and Bali should be done. Homa helps to purify the air, and also Bali helps to prevent the entry of the microorganisms by acting like an artificial host. In the context of Graha Roga, when I explained Bali in detail. You can refer back in my videos if you want. So what is actually Bali and what is the scientific consideration, how it is clinically nowadays useful. So Bali material actually act as an artificial host, just like a culture medium, and naturally the organisms are get attracted there, and it prevents the spreading of the infection in the community or in the mass area, and therefore it is a community disinfection method or mass disinfection method. So here also Bali should be given. Apart from that, they mentioned 2 big pestles should be kept at the door of the room in an inverted fashion. Now this is quite interesting. 2 pestles are taken and it should be kept at the door of the Sutikagara in an inverted position. When you see the logic behind this may be due to the fear of the enemies. Okay, 1 pestle will be there for any type of enemies. In those days, enemies are very common. Okay, so enemies as per the social situation of those days. 1 point. But second word, as it is kept in the inverted position, maybe with a certain intentions that the mild vibrations can also make this particular pestle fall down, so that movement of certain animals, snakes, etc. will be well appreciated. Okay, further pestles are also used to pound the medicines. That is the real use. But the question comes, why it has to be kept in an inverted fashion? Okay, so when you keep it in the inverted fashion, maybe is mild vibrations around the Sutikagara by the movement of the animals, movement of the reptiles, etc. may be also appreciated as these pestles fall down. That may be one of the idea. Now, different Rakshogna medicine should be also kept in the Sutikagara, like Sarshapa, Atasi, Vacha, Kushta, Hingu, Lashuna, Tandula, Gugulu. So they are all used in the Sutikagara. Rakshogna, these are mentioned under the Rakshogna Gana. Okay, Sarshapa, Atasi, Vacha, Kushta, and even to, I think, Sarpaganda. So they are all actually mentioned in the Rakshogna medicines. Okay, so Rakshogna means one which prevents from the Rakshasas. Scientifically understanding, Rakshasas are those which are in search of Mamsa, Vasa, Lasika, etc. the test says. So it is nothing but they are found of an blood or necrotizing material, okay, so where they can grow very well. So to Rakshasa is nothing but from which we have to do the Raksha. So that means again it comes under the purview of prevention of the infections. Rakshasas are nothing but certain microorganism group which can cause the infections when we consider it scientifically. Again, this portion has been clearly described in the context of Graha Rogas. You can refer there. The word meaning of Rakshogna is one which drive away or kill the Rakshasas or evil spirits. Rakshogna drugs are used after tying it as a potali or hanging it over the neck of the mother, child, on the doors or windows, etc. That means those drugs will continuously burst out the strong aromatic smell, and which will purify the air and also prevent the infection. We know that strong aromatic smell is always a anti-infective or antiseptic. Further, these drugs are continuously burst out strong aromatic smell, as I told earlier, and also bactericidal. So as babies lie in a close contact with the mother, chances of cross-infection will be prevented by this method. Mother may be also having some infection that will be spread to the baby. So tying such things with a strong aromatic smell and all bactericidal properties may help to even to prevent the cross-infection between the mother, not only between the visitors and other members, even from the mother to child cross-infection may be also prevented. Similarly, it is mentioned that a pot which is filled with the water should be kept above the head level of the baby and the mother. Pot is also tied with a potali of Rakshogna drugs. A pot filled with the cold water kept inside the room in a summer month is the best method of maintaining the humidity inside the room, and same can be achieved with the hot water in the winter months to maintain the temperature. This is one of the easiest and cheapest way of maintaining the temperature, followed by our Ayurveda. If you want to increase the temperature, decrease the temperature, If you want to soothe the air, so then keep a pot which is filled with the cold water. And if you want to increase the temperature, as in the winter months, you keep a pot which is filled with the hot water. Now, continuously constant temperature is maintained inside the Sutikagara by burning the wooden pieces of tinduka, etc., as hypothermia will be more hazard to the baby. This portion also we have mentioned earlier. Further, a lamp of the mustard oil is also continuously lit inside the room, which has the advantages of keeping the room warm without causing any dry air. Now, when you want to keep the room warm, you can use the tungsten bulbs, and so many bulbs are there nowadays, including radiant warmer. But the only problem is when you use it continuously for a longer time, it causes a dryness of the air, which is not good for the baby. But when you use a lamp lit by the oil, like mustard oil, it is giving the illumination, it is maintaining the temperature in the given area, restricted area. In the meantime, air will not be dry. Air will remain humidified. Now, inside the Sutikagara, isolation has to be maintained. That is also mentioned in Raksha Karma. There should not be any extra attendants or visitors inside the Sutikagara except some lady attendants who are soft-spoken, honest, efficient, faithful, clean and hygienic and experienced. They should have enough experience in the baby and mother care. So therefore always multiparous women are mentioned. Okay, not the primary or not the unmarried women are allowed. Only married and multiparous woman is allowed because she has got the experience of handling the newborn baby. Okay, so they are only useful. But they should be hygienic. So they should have enough experience in the baby and mother care, as a mother is exhausted by the stress of the delivery, cannot take care of herself and as well as baby. Hence their presence is very much important, because in Raksha Karma they very clearly says that nobody is allowed except some of the few multiparous women. Okay, so even while conducting the delivery, previous experience of multiparous woman helps a lot, especially for a primary to boost her morally and to give the tips for the maintenance of the health of the baby. Faithful attendants are required to prevent the neonatal exchange and other neonatal hazards. See, all these points are actually covered in the Raksha Karma. So when they say experienced, honest, faithful, multiparous woman is required, means all these things will come under this. Now, attendants should be required to take care of the mother and also the baby around the clock for maintaining the healthy status of the mother and the baby and breastfeeding, etc. Meanwhile, on the 6th day, they specially mention that Shashti Graha will attack the baby. Therefore, on that night, we need to be very careful. Shashti Graha, one of the Jataharani, will go into affect the baby and take away the life of the baby. So, they specially mention that on the 6th day, you have to be extremely careful as baby is having all the threats. Now, considering this, they told that on the 6th day, the Shashti Graha will come and attack the baby. But in general, or in reality, it should be taken as first 6 days of the life of a newborn baby is always dangerous. Any type of infection, Jataharani, Graha, can occur, and it may lead to septicemia, early onset or late onset, and that is very, very hazard to the baby, because septicemia is called as silent killer of the baby. So probably it is not only on the 6th day, starting from the birth up to first 6th day, you have to take extreme care. For the next 1 week also you have to take care, but for the first 6 days you have to take extreme care. That may be the intention. So similarly, priest who is knowing the Atharva Veda should offer the sacrificial oblations twice daily for nullifying the evil spirit and have to save the mother and the baby. That means this is one of the process of giving moral support and as well as faith and as well as confidence in mother, because she is little worried now, confused. She is very panic about the baby care and everything is very new for her. Okay, so definitely there is a moral boosting is required either from the family members, or here they told a priest is doing some of the homas which induce some positivity in the mother, and indirectly it will go into help for the breastfeeding, newborn care, etc. Now Vagbhata explains Mahamayuri mantra and Ratnaketu mantra for the protection of the baby. Now actually Vagbhata, it is in the books also, it is very clear, Vagbhata is follower of the Buddhism. This Mahamayuri mantra and Ratnaketu mantra, actually basically these are explained in Buddhism. Buddhism literature it is mentioned. As Vagbhata is also one of the Buddhism follower, so he rightly mentioned this Mahamayuri mantra and the Ratnaketu mantra for the protection of the baby. Now, priest after reciting the mantra Vasudhevo should take the ash of the medicinal drugs in the hand and apply it over the smear over the head, face, neck, neck and body of the baby for protection from the evil spirit. Again, the source is from Chowli's Principles of Karma Bhritya, C.H.S. Shastri sir. Actually, nowadays also in some of the traditional families, this is a practice that at night hours, after doing the puja in the home, the one who is doing the puja, maybe the senior most member of the family, owner of the family, so he takes some of the ash which is kept along with the god's photos and all, and then the newborn baby will be smeared with all these basmas. These basmas are actually prepared by in a homa, taken from some homa where so many medicinal drugs are burned down, and this method is even today it is practiced in the Flokor area and also in the village area. Okay, so again this is also one of the method of protection of the baby. Similarly, Gohila Grahya Sutra, again the reference is from Dr. Shastri Sir's book. Gobila Grahya Sutra advises uttering the word Buha, which carries a very powerful meaning and should be daily repeated in order to prevent the death-like condition of the baby. This is mentioned in the Gobila Grahya Sutra. Daily bhuva, bhu, bhu, bhuva, bhuva, swaha. So these words should be altered because these words are considered as very powerful words, and repeatedly when you utter it, so it will go into prevent the death-like condition of the baby. This is also mentioned in Gohila Grahya Sutra. Further, the oil massage should be also daily done with the Sahadevyadi Taila, or this should be followed by Udvartana and also hot water bath. Murva Taila is also mixed with the Haridra Dvaya and Kulata and can be used for Udvartana. Okay, Mula can be mixed with the two types of Haridras and also the Kulatas, and for the Udvartana purpose this can be used because Udvartanam Shamaharam Medasa Pravilayam Tok Prasadakaram. So now even Kalka of the Eladigana drugs can be also used. Talking about the fumigation again further, daily after bathing child should be fumigated with Rakshogna drugs. Raja Marthanda and Yogaratnakara says that the child should be fumigated with the feathers of the crow dipped with the cow's ghee on the either side for the destruction of the evil spirits. Dupana has got disinfectant and antiseptic benefits. This Dupana is also discussed in detail in the context of Graha Rogas. So hence room, bed and other belongings of the baby should be daily fumigated, and this maintains the aseptic measures. So these are some of the important things which is mentioned in the Raksha Karma. Therefore, as I told in the beginning itself, Raksha Karma aim to fulfill all these properties like enhancement of the feeding, giving the pure air, healthy environment, maternal touch, disinfection, adequate temperature, etc. And prevention of the nosocomial infection. So this is Raksha Karma in detail. You can also refer the book for the other details and shlokas. Thank you very much. In the next class we'll discuss with the one more newborn procedure. So that is called as bed and clothing of the baby. Thank you very much.